On the first day of high school, our English teacher, Mr. MJ, asked us all to write all our goals, on a sticky note. I had one goal, just one, to save a life. Am I crazy? That's a bold claim for a 14-year-old. But this goal of mine started from when I was 9. See, when I was 8, my mother got diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer and probably given less than a year to live. I didn't understand the gravity of the situation at the time, but I remember very clearly when my mom left for treatment, would go into her closet and I would bury my face into her clothes and breathe in her scent because I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to do that again. Growing up, I saw how cancer affects people. Cancer affects not just one body, it affects families, communities, and hearts. Today, my mom is a cancer survivor. I love you, Mommy. And she is also the strongest woman I know. Yet, I still hold on to that one goal, to save a life. Entering senior school, I was surprised to find out that cancer didn't just affect a few families. It was a widespread problem that affected far too many lives. Many of you might have relatives, friends, or even classmates that have cancer. Research indicates that incidences of cancer in young adults have increased steadily since the 1990s. From 1990 to 2019, early onset cancer in individuals below the age of 50 have increased by 79.1%, with mortality rates increasing by 27.7%. Cancer has been affecting all of us, directly or indirectly. Moving on to the most recent chapter of my life, I entered the IB diploma. In IB, we have to do something called TASK. TASK being creativity, activity, and service. I see a few reactions there. For many of us, TASK meant volunteering at an elderly home or homeless shelter, tutoring underclassmen, or planting a tree. But TASK pushed me to ask a deeper question. Could I change someone's life like my mother? So I started small with something I was very passionate about. I co-founded our school's first medical club and our first hosted chapter with my friend and co-founder, Shengit. We worked hard. We went to biology competitions. We worked with hospitals for their hospital workshops. But we didn't feel like that was enough. We wanted more. We wanted to act. Around the same time, I started to chair MUN, Model United Nations, something that I loved since the 7th grade. At one conference, CISMEN, the guest speaker, the keynote speaker, wasn't a president of some organization, wasn't a professor, or even some UN person. He was an average guy that was raising awareness for this one girl that lost her family in war and an earthquake in Turkey. He flew from country to country, school to school, just for this one girl. I remember thinking in that conference, it's just one person. Is this really necessary? But what he said changed my life and my perspective. He said, because one drop can ripple through a person's entire ocean. I kept thinking about it throughout that conference. Just one drop would ripple through a person's entire ocean. And sometimes that one drop could be their entire ocean. So I went back to school and I gathered a group of friends. My friends Shengit, Melody, Jennifer, Joycelyn, Abby, Chingsuan, David, Patrick, and Dri. I have to give credit where credit is due. And we started a project called Rise. Rise was just an idea, a scribble in the back of our notebook, a spark of hope between us students that wanted to make a change. Ladies and gentlemen, please watch this video introducing Rise.
My name is Rena Tong and I'm the president of Rise.
My name is Shingit and I'm the vice president of Rise. Rise is an event modeled after Relate to Life, which is an event that helps cancer survivors by raising funds.
This initially started off as an idea, but we really wanted to make this happen. We spoke to many different people and departments in our school, and of course worked with our amazing student leadership team and our wonderful Miss Wall. It took numerous months before this event finally came to life, and when it did, it was absolutely fantastic.
Going forwards, we hope that we started a legacy in this school by organizing the first ever cancer fundraising event for a specific individual. We also hope that students can join RISE and continue to organize such cancer fundraising events.
Organizing an event like RISE gave us as student leaders opportunities we don't normally get in a classroom. As student leaders, we learned how to lead a team, communicate effectively, and complete a project from start to finish. For SSIS, we brought our community together for a greater purpose.
Giving students the autonomy to dream big and organise community events such as RISE is an important part of any school. It's wonderful that SSIS gave students the opportunity to do this as well. Students learn so much from organising events such as this. They learn how to be leaders, how to be fiscally responsible, how to communicate effectively and handle logistics. This group of young adults exemplify all of the SSIS Future Global Leader attributes. They are wonderful role models and they have built something that will live on at SSIS. I'm very proud of them.
Our goal was simple, yet it felt impossible. To raise funds for a person in our community, an alumni who is battling cancer. He's only 24 years old. We worked day and night, in school, out of school. We ran around classrooms just to spread this message that this event is happening. We sold merchandise. We spent all of our free time trying to make this work. Yet it felt impossible. There were too many times that I could remember that we felt like it's never going to happen. We're too young, too naive, too broke, and sometimes it felt too late. Finally, on October 10th, on RISE Day, we raised over 38,000 RMB in support of this alumni cancer team. To us, this wasn't just a number. It was proof. It was proof that compassion is powerful. Proof that when we come together, we can fight something bigger than ourselves. On that day, we realized we can't save every life. But if we can just change one, sometimes that's enough. Cass taught us about community. RISE taught us about standing together when life feels tough. And that is why I'm here today. To remind you all that you don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to be a doctor, a billionaire, or a philanthropist. You don't even need a perfect plan. In fact, our meetings were probably just us screaming at each other. But we need the heart to start. Because ladies and gentlemen, we all have the power to rise, to step up for people and lift others up when we need to. As Mother Teresa once said, if you can't feed 100 people, just feed one. And sometimes helping one person is changing the world. It's changing their world. If our actions, our drops, can ripple through a person's entire ocean, we can already change the tide. So ladies and gentlemen, if you take anything from my message today, please note that we probably can't heal everyone. We can't save every life. But we can do what it takes. We can have our jobs turn into waves. And we can make a change at this moment. Thank you, everyone.